My Destined 1, Tensura x Arifureta by Void Kane. Ch48. Enjoying the beach and the easy calaboose 3 days past. Today the group will be leaving to conquer the next dungeon, which was near Arisen. However, before this, Rimuru insisted that they try Arisen's beach to have fun with Myu. Arisen had several beaches since it was in the middle of the sea and everyone from the sea people liked them. The group easily accepted as this would be Mayu's farewell, so they all thought it would be a great farewell. At the moment everyone was on the private beach that Rimuru had rented for them. Rimuru, Myu, Chloe, and Sakura were playing in the sea and the others were lying in the sun. The girls were wearing bikinis and the boys shorts while Myu was wearing a swimsuit. Wow, that's paradise, yeah. Really very nice. Ufufu, I'm glad you guys liked it, what did you think, honey? Shia, Akame, you commented while sunbathing lying down and Rimuru asked Hajime a question. Gossip about the human group in town was running wild, mostly because of Rimuru always calling Hajime, honey. Apparently Rimuru was quite popular in Arisen. Another reason for so much talk was because of the beautiful girls that make men drool and get slaps from their wives who cast jealous glances at the girls. The main target of these looks was Chloe, who stood out for her boundless beauty. Yes, it's a great beach. Hajime agreed with Rimuru's question and leaned back in his chair. Myu-chan. Ehehe, Shiawani-chan don't catch me. Myu stole Shia's blue bikini top and ran off towards the sea. Shia went running toward her while covering her breasts in shame. They seemed to be having fun. Kaori said and laid down next to Hajime on his beach chair. Kaori was wearing a bikini seat and did everything she could to get close to Hajime. It was one of her seduction techniques. Hajime hugged her waist and Kaori kissed him. The two were quite clingy these past few days, but of course Hajime was still paying attention to Yu. Yu saw that Kaori approached Hajime and did the same. She sat on Hajime's lap and cast a cold glance at Kaori. Don't you think you're too close to Hajime, Kaori? Yu for some reason emphasizes Kaori's name. Kaori stared at Yu and one could see lightning in their gazes. In addition, Kaori's Hanya seemed to be fighting with Yu's dragon. I think it's okay to stay like this, you know, Yue. The two stared at each other and Hajime exclaimed. To interrupt arrived obviously Tio. That look that Yu showed to Kaori. I wish Gushin-sama would throw me a look like that. Obviously she was met by a slap from Hajime. Tio had expected this and turned her ass over to be hit. Then she lay panting on the sandy beach and Rimuru commented. Era, shouldn't I be the one to stay close to Hajime? We have a daughter after all. Rimuru's comment was met by cold stares from Kaori and Yu, but Rimuru just countered the murderous atmosphere with, ufufu. Seal was lying sunbathing while watching Rimuru and the others who were. What is it, Rimuru-san? Sakura and Chloe were confused as Rimuru stopped throwing water at them and just watched the two. Rimuru regained his senses when they realized him. No, it's nothing. Rimuru looked away embarrassed. He was actually in awe of how beautiful Chloe and Sakura looked in their bikinis and absently stared. Is everything okay? Chloe approached and leaned in confused. Sakura seemed to have noticed where Rimuru was looking and her cheeks flushed. Rimuru thought there was no need to disguise it and grabbed Chloe by the waist, leaving her surprised. This bikini looks beautiful on Chloe, I was just admiring it. He said and kissed her. Chloe's beautiful white bikini really enhanced her beauty and showed off her beautiful body. Chloe was surprised by the kiss, but didn't pull away. I'm glad you liked it. Ehehe. Rimuru-san looked beautiful like that too. Chloe said and looked at Rimuru's muscles. He was more muscular now that he had a human body since Rimuru played a lot of sports. Sakura walked over and hugged Rimuru's arm. Rimuru-san like my bikini? Sure. Sakura had made her bikini with monomaterialization, so she made it so that Rimuru liked it. Rimuru quickly responded and kissed her too while holding her waist. The three of them went back to the beach and lay down on the chairs to sunbathe. Shia finally managed to get her bikini from Myu and said. That was embarrassing. But if Hajime-san wants to see my breasts it's fine. Shia suggested and Hajime sighed once again. It seemed that wearing bikinis really made girls bolder. Papa look. It's a talking fish. Huh? Myu pointed to the sea while shouting and Hajime was confused by her words. Everyone looked to where Myu was pointing and there was Lehman, the talking fish that Hajime and Shia released in foreign. Lehman-san, what are you guys doing here? Shia asked and all but Rimuru and Seal went toward Lehman. Oh, Hajime boy, Shia girl, it's good to see you. I just walked by and saw you guys so I stopped by to say hi. Hajime, who is that? Ah, that's. Hajime began to explain about Lehman to the group. While they were doing that. Master, could you pass some sunscreen on me, PFFH? Rimuru was so surprised that he spit out the coconut water he is taking it. He looked at Seal who was wearing an extremely small bikini and thought of himself rubbing sunscreen on her. This was certainly not a scene that Myu would see. Well, that's. Master doesn't want to touch me? You know it's not that, it's just kind of embarrassing to do that here. But it's just sunscreen, no big deal, okay. Rimuru was still suspicious of his intentions, but he accepted. Seal lay on her stomach and unbuttoned the top of her bikini. Rimuru rubbed sunscreen on her back and shoulders and Seal seemed happy about it. Rimuru was also listening to Hajime's story as he did this. He finished his back and began to apply sunscreen to his legs, when he got to his thighs. Seal let out a small groan and Rimuru stopped his hands. Seal-san, what was that? What was what? Seal played dumb, and Rimuru was already almost certain that Ciel's intentions were otherwise. I can't be hearing things right? He wondered internally and continued to slather on the sunscreen. Okay, I'm done, he said and pushed his hands away. Wait master. There's a part missing. Seal taught his ass and Rimuru was surprised. She can't be wanting me to. Well, there's no one watching, he thought and put more protector in his hands. I guess it's okay. Rimuru said red after falling for the temptation that was Seal in a bikini. Meanwhile, Lehman-san, you said you were passing by here? Yes, that's right. I'm actually in search of my family. If I take too long, I don't even know what my wife will do. Are you married? Hajime and Shia were shocked by Lehman's revelation. He certainly didn't have the profile of a married man. Yes, I am married. My wife always fights with me because I like to go on adventures and it takes me a little while to get back. It seems that Lehman was not a responsible husband or father. Everyone doubted the a little while, he said. By the way Lehman spoke, his wife was very angry and even frightening. Lehman, go back to your family. Yes, your wife must be waiting. I hope you'll be okay. Everyone encouraged him and Lehman dove into the sea to return with his family while thinking about what his wife's reaction would be when he arrived. They returned to the beach and Rimuru had already stopped rubbing sunscreen on Ciel's butt. She put her bikini back on and was sitting on his lap while cuddled in his neck. As usual they're flirting. Yeah, it's really repetitive. Hajime and Shia commented as they saw them and the others found it natural. I'm kind of getting used to it. Yes, love is beautiful. I think Oni-chan and Oni-san are really nice together. Everyone enjoyed the beach for a while longer. Filled circle, filled circle, filled circle. The time came. Everyone had already returned from the beach and was ready to leave towards the Melusine dungeon which by Mildy's words was underwater. Plus for some reason could only be found at night. All that was left was for Hajime to say goodbye and several thoughts were running through his mind. Saying goodbye was difficult. What if he hadn't become attached to Myu? What if he hadn't heard Aiko's words about having a lonely life? If Myu was abandoned, how would the other members of the group feel? These questions had everything to do with something. Attachment. Hajime had become attached to Myu and now he didn't know how to say goodbye. If he hadn't brought Myu along he wouldn't have to live through this moment. But even if he did, how would his companions feel? Rimuru would go against it with all his might. Chloe and Sakura would agree with Rimuru and they would probably convince Hajime. Shia and Tio wouldn't go against Hajime's opinion, but they would definitely feel sad and that was something Hajime didn't want. Myu. I guess this is goodbye. Hajime said and picked her up on his lap. Myu hugged him tightly and said. Don't worry Papa. I know Papa needs to go. I'm not going to cry. I am his daughter, so I have to be strong too. She said and Hajime stroked her head. Papa will come back, won't he? MYU. After I finish my adventures, I'm going to a place far away. But I had to stay with you. I had to stay with Papa. MYU insisted on staying close to Hajime with all her strength, and Hajime couldn't stand it. All right. He absent-mindedly said, but he wasn't going to take it back. Somehow Hajime was going to get MYU into his world no matter what he had to do. MYU seemed happy about that and got off Hajime's lap. Rimiya then came forward to speak. Sorry, I decided this without asking you. If you are against it, I will understand. Era, of course I'm not against it. You saved MYU, so the least I can do is move. You know, the place I'm talking about isn't just far away, it's another world. As long as you and MYU and I are together, there is no problem, dear heart. Rimiya reassured him. Even with her ufufu, she seemed to be serious about going to the other world with Hajime. Hajime hugged Rimiya, after being persuaded, said goodbye and got into the submarine. Everyone left while waving. Filled circle, the submerged ruins of Majorine. One of the great dungeons that the group was aware of, and one that was not known to the world, unlike the Gurion volcano or the Orcus dungeon. This dungeon was extremely easy, and here's why. Mildy told them about this dungeon and also told them how to find it. It is necessary to use the Gurion dungeon conquest test. When it is night, you must point the ring to the moon and the light will show you the way. This is exactly what they did. They went to the middle of the sea and pointed the ring toward the moon. The reflection of the light pointed in many directions and led them to a place in the ocean that would have been almost impossible to find without the light guiding them. When they arrived at this random spot in the ocean, the light revealed a large submerged ruin that was previously hidden by magic. This ruin was literally underwater, but it was easy to enter because of the submarine. The tunnels were square and large enough for the submarine to enter easily. The monsters they encountered were also extremely easy. The monsters seemed to have infinite regeneration and had no core, so normally they would be hard to kill, but the group had Rimuru, who was a walking cheat, Chloe, who could use disintegration magic and taught that magic to Tio and Yu. In addition, Sakura had a way to attack the soul of the creatures and that ignored regenerations. The water and the practically immortal monsters soon revealed the concept of this dungeon. It was to test the intelligence of the challenger and how he would get past the water and the monsters. Or at least that's what they thought the concept was. After a while of wandering through the maze, they arrived at a location that did not have water everywhere like the rest of the maze. After reaching this place, they all put the submarine away. When they did this, a large octopus-like monster appeared and broke the ground they were standing on. Immediately a large amount of water fell and tried to separate them into different tunnels. However, Rimuru blocked the water and they all managed to go through the same tunnel. As they followed this tunnel, they all came to a strange place. This place didn't have water everywhere, but it had water about a foot high, and the place was dark, damp, and scary. There were several wrecked boats, and it was very scary. It was then that everyone discovered the concept of this dungeon. A large magical circle appeared at everyone's feet and they were all transported into an illusion. This illusion showed them why so many ships were destroyed here. When they blinked, they found themselves in a war. They had all become pirates with swords and were in a full-scale sea war. This war was really horrible. The sailors fighting it seemed to be fighting over different religions, so they kept saying things like, "Die, you heathen," or "Die and take your God with you." In addition, they all seemed to be enjoying slaughtering those who did not share their beliefs. This could be noticed from their psychotic looks and obsessed laughter. After a while, the pirates attacked them inside the illusion and they were forced to fight back. No matter how many the group killed, more kept coming, and killing people was not something that gave any of them pleasure, but they were all without their powers and could do nothing. They were all just normal soldiers. Seal told them that he could get them out of the illusion, but that would probably cause them to fail the ordeal of the dungeon. So they all decided to continue even if they sent the situation. They killed many soldiers, but no matter how many they killed, more kept coming. Moreover, the worst thing was that everyone came to kill them with twisted looks on their faces. That's how they came up with the concept of the dungeon. It was to show what religion can cause. To show how becoming obsessed with God can create wars, disasters, and it can create maniacs. Most of the group already knew this, and those who didn't realized it when they met Freed at the Gurion volcano. The way he talked about his God was really horrible. However, Kaori was the only one who didn't know what religion could cause and also wasn't at Guryan volcano, so she was the one who was most terrified of the war of religions. After a while everyone came out of the illusion and found themselves in the same place. That was horrible. Yes, it was very unpleasant. This one agrees. Rimuru, Chloe and Tio commented. Hajime was hugging Kaori to calm her down and Yu was calming Shia. Sakura and Tio had stern looks on their faces while Rimuru had a bitter expression. It reminded him of the Pharma's soldiers who attacked Tempest out of pure prejudice and claimed to be following God's orders. Rimuru felt himself on the ground leaning against a rock as he thought. Rimuru-san. Please hug me. Chloe said and hugged Rimuru's waist tightly. She placed her head on his chest and Rimuru hugged her waist to bring her closer. Chloe was pure of heart and was a hero. She didn't like to kill if she didn't have to, and seeing that seemed to shake her up a lot. Rimuru was pretty shaken up too, but seeing the look on Chloe's face he just forgot about it. He hugged her tightly and stroked her hair gently. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm with you. He stayed hugging her for a while as he comforted her and Hajime did the same with Kaori. After the two seemed better the group decided to continue on their way. Kaori and Chloe were embarrassed that they had shaken themselves up and slowed them down, but everyone reassured them. After a while of walking. Master. Yes? Seal called out to Rimuru and he looked confused. The others also looked at Seal to hear what she had to say. Seal pulled out her sword which was the same one used by Shizu and where we are. Ciel's sword flashed and she gave a backward slash. When she did this her sword hit something in the air and space blurred around her sword. The thing Ciel had hit was strange. It didn't have a clear shape, but it looked like a human and its color was transparent white. Oh. What is that? There are more of them here. I detect spirit life forms similar to this one attached to this place. Spirit life form? Is it a nature spirit or a demon? Rimuru asked. He didn't think it would be an angel so there were only 2 other spirit life forms left. No, it's none of the ones Master mentioned. It is probably a new form. That life form was created by putting together an unnatural energy. What energy? Hate. Ciel said in a heavy tone and explained. These life forms she was detecting were probably formed from the deaths of several people who had their souls rooted in hatred. These people died nearby and their souls joined together in this new creature. I think Master would like the name, ghosts. They need to possess bodies to leave this place. But unlike demons they need living bodies and don't need permission. So the ghosts will possess us, how can we stop the possession? Kaori asked scared and hid behind Hajime. It seems that ghosts were one of Kaori's weak points. Akame asked Ciel a way to stop the possession as she knew they wouldn't run away. Don't worry. I have made everyone immune to the ghosts, we'll be fine. Ciel reassured them and they continued on their way. After a while of walking they found something. A large statue of a woman who seemed to be from the Sea People and appeared to be around 20 years old. The woman was wearing a luxurious dress. The statue was 20 feet high and made of stone. This is the Liberator Majorine. Look there. Rimuru and Hajime recognized it as the Liberator Majorine. They knew her appearance because of the description in Oscar Orca's journal. Yu pointed to a spot and when they all looked they saw another statue. The distance between the statues was about 30 meters. Everyone checked the statues but found nothing, they then started looking around. Here. Ciel called out to them. They moved closer as they were called and Ciel used his sword to push away some of the clay at their feet. When the clay was pushed away a circular pressure plate appeared. Right between the statues. Could it be the entrance to Majorine's dwelling? Maybe. Probably. They commented among themselves and theorized about the plate. Rimuru stepped forward and stepped on the pressure plate. Cachin. The statues opened, split in half, and released an energy that created a portal. On the other side of the portal the group could see a 4-story stone tower that stood beneath the sea. The tower had a barrier that prevented water from passing through and even had grass around it. It was the abode of the trader. Let's go. Hajime went ahead and everyone went inside. Inside the tower didn't have many things besides what one would need to survive: bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, living room and so on. On the top floor was a large magic circle that they knew what it did. Everyone climbed into the magic circle and, hello, I am Melu Majorine. The hologram of the same woman depicted in the statues appeared and told them the same story about the mad gods. I just want everyone to be able to live by their own will. She finished with those words and the magic circle glowed brightly. Everyone had their memories scoured and gained a new magic. Regeneration? Yes. That's an impressive magic? Shia, Hajime, and Akame commented regeneration magic. A magic that reversed time. This magic didn't only work on people, and it was also difficult to use. Some of them had little aptitude for this magic and the one with the most aptitude was Kaori. Goodbye. The hologram spoke and everyone was teleported to another place. It seems that Majorine did not want people to stay in her house. They were teleported above the sea, at the same location as the submerged ruins that could be seen below. They dropped a few feet and swam to stay above the sea. It seems that the female members of the Liberators do not have good manners. Rimuru commented, this exit request, as well as Mildy's was really quite rude and everyone agreed with it. Hajime removed the sub and everyone went inside to dry off. It was at this moment. Boom. Roa. A loud noise was heard and everyone saw something emerging from within the sea. It was a gigantic creature that raised a gigantic wave as it came out of the sea. The creature had the shape of a woman with curly hair and instead of legs it had several gigantic tentacles. She appeared to be made of a transparent gel-like material. Master, this creature seems to have extremely powerful regeneration. Well, we've already picked up the magic, so I guess it's okay for me to take care of it. Rimuru said and no one disagreed. The reason they didn't let Rimuru take care of everything was so they could complete the dungeon, so now it was okay. The monster was coming towards the group. Rimuru raised his hand toward them and said, let's see if this will do, King of Death Azrael. He said and a large ball of black energy went towards the creature. Rimuru had used the ability he analyzed from Azrael. When the energy ball touched the creature there was no bang, screech or any other sound. The creature began to disappear. Just that, disappearing in pieces as if it were turning the air. Yash, let's go back, Rimuru said and got into the submarine. The rest of the group was no longer surprised and just sighed. They all got into the submarine and traveled back to the mainland.